or make you laugh, make you cry like Ain't Life Funny. Ugh.
So what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 47. 47, that's 47, Aaron, of Ain't Life Funny. Who could believe it? The critics,
47
the haters.
2.0.
Yeah, 2.0. This is actually episode 48, but let's just say that Aaron and I had a recording session yesterday, and, you know, the podcast usually goes off of the rails at some point, but this one started off the rails, and it just went to... You know, and I have a personal confession, Aaron. I actually ate an edible like 20 minutes before the podcast, and my mind was too it was too open to what you were saying. But I mean,
I'm about to call my mom up and tell her what's up. This sucks. I'm high as fuck.
It was just so. Needless to say, guys, I didn't even save it. It was so insane.
You must never listen to this.
So, you know,
I'm like a pit bull, man. Like if you get, if you fucking give me a bone to bite onto, man, and then like you don't have any defense, it's like I'm just tear away at you, dude.
I started because honestly, when we ended it, I was like, you know what, dude, we've never recorded and not used it. Let me just listen to this shit just to make sure, maybe there's some gold in here.
Nah,
boy,
I knew when we were talking.
Gold, but it's not.
I knew when we were talking it wasn't gonna work because I couldn't connect all the dots like I usually do. Because I usually can ring it in and be like, so I said all that to be like this, but that I couldn't get the.
There wasn't. It was just like a shotgun blast of conspiracy, and it was you were passionately going at it, and then I was just like.
I just had drank a bunch of coffee, you know what I'm saying? But like, yeah, you got to stop me, man. You got,
It's all good, man. That's the magic of Hollywood and the magic of editing, Aaron. That never happened. We don't even have to tell. I might just bleep out what we just said about this shit, so nobody knows that we fucked up like that. But it's okay. It's ghetto.
You gotta have the bloopers in there, man.
I mean,
that's why you should have saved it.
There was a moment where you said like 3 rapid fire things, and my only response was, that's all I could do. So my fault, you killed it. I just couldn't back it up. So this is episode 47.2 or 2.0. And Aaron, in our lost episode, we did go into this a little bit, but there's recently been a re-release of the Justice League movie, originally directed by Zack Snyder. Apparently what happened was Zack Snyder had a personal family tragedy, had to leave the movie. Somebody named Josh Whedon, who was responsible for some of the Marvel movies. I think he did the first Avengers.
Yeah.
He came in to finish the movie, and what we saw in the theaters was what he did through his edits and I guess what he shot and whatnot. So first off, I didn't like the first movie that much. I didn't hate it. It was just a mediocre movie to me. This new one's coming out, and I'm interested to hear what you think about one, the idea that now, like when I was a kid, they did re-release Star Wars, and they made changes to it, if you remember that. I don't know if you remember or not. It was like early 90s, mid 90s, and it was just called Star Wars Special Edition. Greedo shot first was one of the things that but they changed the movie and added new special effects basically. So this is not only a director's cut, this is some shit where they actually reshot portions of the movie, added extra scenes, added details that I guess were supposed to be in an additional Justice League movie that's never going to get made. So what do you think about that? Are you excited? I know you haven't watched it, but
I mean, first off, I never really judge DC and Marvel side by side because
you can't.
I was about to say, man, I feel like Marvel just has always been better than them. You know what I mean? Like, and then there's the fanboys of DC that try to, throw shots at the king or whatever, but it's really just like, you're just saying that because you just feel some type of way, but it's really not the truth. So I'm always open-minded to every DC movie that I see. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of actually like the Justice League movie from what I remember of it. It was kind of a while ago though, is if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken,
it was
when
it
that
was a
movie came
while
out.
back. I don't remember. I could look it up.
Yeah.
It was a
So that's
while.
kind of one of the downsides of them doing this to me is just like they might have just said it was a whole nother movie. I understand why they're doing what they're doing because they feel like maybe people didn't receive the first one. But to me, the first one was destined to kind of be a mess up anyways because there was no origin story for the Flash and Aquaman at the time.
I mean,
Like those
Justice
movies.
League was the origin story for those characters, and
Yeah,
basically,
kind of. Yeah.
yeah, it was basically. So
Yeah. But the thing is, like I said, if you were comparing it to Marvel, like Marvel had established movies and sequels before Avengers even came out. Like Iron Man had 2 movies out, right? Like maybe
yeah.
even 3 before Avengers dropped, you know what I'm saying? So like, and then they had sequels to Avengers as well. So like that's what they're trying to do is build a franchise to make Justice League movies just so they can stand on their own. But if you don't build the base to make the characters stand on their own, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like it's kind of a hard thing because like even the Aquaman movie when it did come out isn't good. I don't think they're ever gonna make a Flash movie. Like maybe they are, I don't know.
I
But
think
like
they
the other
are
thing is like,
now. I think the
oh,
plan
probably
is to
okay,
use him to sort of create. I mean, I hate to again
time or something.
to Marvel, but they're DC does like a multiverse type thing too, where Flash
Yeah,
basically is so fast he can run to other dimensions and
yeah,
find
and go through
like
time
a
and shit.
different Batman and shit like that. So
Right.
I think the plan is to do that. But I think the problem that DC has is, DC was actually the first real successful cinematic comic book movie franchise, like company. They made those
Hmm.
Batmans in the 90s,
Right.
and Superman's even earlier than that with Christopher Reeves. So, they were actually doing superhero movies first the best.
And they had like Wonder Woman TV show,
Yeah,
Batman
I mean
TV
they had
show.
shit Incredible Hulk's Marvel, but whatever. They had more success than Marvel did in that realm. So what I think they can't decide now is, Marvel again, you shouldn't compare them. They're 2 different companies. I think Marvel to me, their whole brand is filled with awesome characters. And DC
Right.
has real great franchise, Batman, that has good villains and good characters, and the rest of it is almost like mirror versions of some Marvel property. Like Superman is to this character, or
Well, you know what
Batman is to this.
part of it is that they're from different eras, you know what I'm saying? Like DC came out before Marvel, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And like kind of dealt with different things. So we talked about this the other day, like certain things don't withstand the test of time, you know what I mean? Because like to me, Superman in its era was great because it was like, it was kids from the 20s, you know what I'm saying? Like they was reading actual
yeah,
comic
that
books, you know what I'm
dude. Oh
saying?
my
Like,
God, he can fly. Oh my God.
yeah, you know what I mean? But now, like in the modern era where like we're looking at TV shows, you know what I mean? And they have like they've gone to the lengths now where Marvel even has like the new age Marvel mutants, you know what I'm saying? Where it's even like spin-offs of spin-offs, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
like it's withstands the test of time because X-Men goes over like the thing of inequality. Like that's kind of like the biggest like counter theme throughout the whole thing. So like that's something that withstands the test of time, especially in America, you know what I mean? Whereas if you have like the Fantastic Four, which is basically the X-Men, you know what I'm saying? It's a group of dudes that's all different powers. They don't really work the same because they were kind of dealing with like space and like mystery, you know what I mean, at the
yeah.
time. And
To
just
me, they
like,
were like the Brady Bunch of the Marvel universe. It was just
right.
like taking like that level of it was more about family shit than X-Men was about a group of strangers getting together because they had this same gift that
It was
everyone else,
inequality. Like they
it
had
was
to band together
inequality.
so that they wouldn't get killed. You know what I'm saying? Like people were hunting mutants. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of
And it
why I think, like I
parallels a
said,
lot of things. Like people could
right.
use that and parallel to like the gay experience in America, like in their fight for equal rights and stuff like that too. Like there's a lot of people who put their cause and they can see it mirrored in X-Men. Whereas like to me, I didn't even really finish my point was that I think what DC can't really do anymore, they can't figure out what they want to do because they have characters that, like Batman, he's had so many movies. It's almost like you don't need to do his origin story.
Yeah.
And sometimes they don't want to do that. Like in Justice League, that version of Batman, there was no origin story. It was just Batman was there and he was, doing his thing.
Right.
But then they're going to make another Batman, and they don't.
Right.
It's like you said, you shouldn't compare them to Marvel. It's a different thing, but it's almost like you can't avoid it because they seem to want to try to mimic what Marvel's doing, even though they shouldn't. Like, they released that Joker movie that came out with
Right.
Joaquin Phoenix. It was just a standalone thing. It did amazing and it was good. It wasn't great, but I enjoyed that. It was weird. But they can't figure that out. They either want to do one way and like have this super team movie that requires what Marvel does for it to make any sense, or they do the standalone things and their fans are not happy because it's like, well, I want to see Batman talk to Superman in a movie and shit because I saw Avengers and there's 55 fucking characters in it. It's like, okay, but
to me though, like
it's not going to be that good of a movie because they're sacrificing all that money to have like this huge event instead of doing like, even a Spider-Man movie where it's one guy.
Right. Well, that's what I was about to say, man. Like one of the things that I think modern DC, especially like in the Batman realm, had going for it was that it was doing those standalone things. You know what I'm saying? Because like even if you look at they make that show Gotham, you know what I mean, where like they put spins on different realities of their product. You know what I mean? Like to me, that's in the lane where they were kind of winning. You know what I mean? Like you said, if they try to sit there and mimic Marvel, first off, their characters don't stand up because, like I said, they already have the ultimate man. Like Superman don't need a team. Like regardless of whatever challenge it is, like Thanos is coming, Superman fights Thanos. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, like maybe he loses, whatever, but like that's the plot. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't that Superman's gonna go to Batman and be like, "Hey, dog, I need your help with this Thanos, dude." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's really not how Justice League got formed. Justice League really got formed because they wanted to watch Superman, if I'm remembering correctly. You know what I'm saying? Like they kind of were wanting to help him, but keep tabs on him more than anything because he's the biggest threat to the planet.
Justice League in this movie, Justice League is formed because Batman feels bad that he did like this whole thing to monitor Superman, but Superman was actually not the enemy. He was viewing him as the enemy and killed him because in this movie,
he does
right
kill
after
him,
Superman got killed. So there's like, it is strange that this movie is like being re-released. So you have to sort of remember where the timeline of it, because like Aquaman came out after this, that one shitty Wonder Woman movie came out after this. So there's like things that you almost have to forget when you're watching the new version of this, which again, I'm halfway through this, Aaron. This movie's 4 hours long.
Oh my God.
I watched 2 hours plus of it, I'm to where they just basically are like together now.
Yeah.
And boy, the one
thing to me,
it's so slow. I feel like the reason that it's like 4 hours is just because they didn't want to edit out anything, dude. It's just like they put everything they had in it. Like there's shots that are just establishing shots that are just slow-mo panoramas with maybe an Amazon doing some shit and some music playing, but it's like, why is this a half a minute long?
Well, part of that I feel like I can vibe with it and I can't, because like as a viewer I feel like I don't want to sit in anything for that long ever again. Like honestly, to me, I wish they would go back to start making movies 90 minutes long at the max. And honestly, I'm not even against like an hour long movie. Like if a TV show was an hour, like 45 minutes, I'm saying just like straight up 60 minutes of content without commercials. You know what I'm saying? Because usually like an hour long TV show is really 45 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So like 15 minutes more of that, make it a movie. I'm not hating on that movie. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's a good 60 minutes, I fuck with that shit. You know what I mean? But like seeing a 4-hour movie, that's a fucking novel, dog. Like it's like I got shit to do, dog.
I mean, honestly, and again, I don't know, because there's movies that I've seen, Lord of the Rings back in the day, or you'll watch like a 2.5 hour movie and it's so good you don't really realize you've been in it that long. But it seems like now the status quo is to have a 2.5 hour movie.
Right.
I'm with you. I don't know.
And I feel like they're putting shit in to make it that long.
90 minutes, you can do the job.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like a tight 90 versus a weak 2 hours. You know what I'm saying? Like that to me, like I'm not really good with that. Like if you take some stuff out and be like, man, this ain't really helping or hurting nothing. But here's what I was gonna say though too is on the flip side of that, on the studio side as a creator, I do kind of vibe with some of that mindset though, because especially like in the world now where people just consume shit constantly, you know what I mean? Like somebody will watch a whole season of, you know, a new Netflix show in like a day, you know what I'm saying? And be like, hey man, when is the next fucking show coming out? It's like,
Yeah,
bro,
right.
like it takes them a year to make this, you know what I'm saying? Another year to edit it, like they working, dog. You know what I'm saying? This shit is hard, you know what I mean? Like it ain't easy. So I
Especially
understand when
like
it's comes
those
time to
Marvel
release it.
movies. It's crazy they can pump some of them shits out that quick.
Oh
Because to
yeah.
me, they have to invent ways to film shit because it's so advanced. You know, they don't even know
Well,
how
they probably start animating the newest movies before they even start ending the new ones that they're working on. You know what I'm saying? Like as they were doing WandaVision and shit, somebody right now working on Black Panther 2, you know what I'm saying? Like constantly just doing shit. And they probably ain't even shot them with people, just making just the green screen shit. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like so
And I
I'm
like
sure
the
it's
idea
wild.
that if you make a movie, you're not instantly vilified if it doesn't do that well. It's like they're giving this guy a second chance. They're letting him put out his version of the movie because he wasn't able to do that. And on their like, if you're looking at it in a money situation, they're able to make more money off of a movie that's in the
That's
bank.
already made.
You know,
Yeah, that's what I'm
it's
saying.
extra
Like
money.
I can't really feel bad for DC because that's all this really is in the long run. They're just trying to make a franchise that they can make, you know, big money grab on. That's what any movie is. You know what
They
I'm saying?
need to
Like,
just realize that nobody wants to watch a Superman movie. I mean, you can get the handsomest fucking guy, you can put all the special effects into it that you want, and the shit just ain't ever good. You can do whatever you want. You make it adult, make it fucking palatable for teenagers, do whatever. And to me, it's just always whack. So they need to just lean into Batman. He's consistently the best character. He's got the most good villains. You got a lot to work with there. And I don't know, like all this other shit. I don't. I'm interested to see, you know, if this will change their plans at all. Because from what I read about this movie and what they're planning, like the new plan was to do a Flash movie where basically he goes through time and dimensions and gets a different version of Batman because Ben Affleck's gone. He's, you know, so they have to get rid of that version of the character. So apparently Michael Keaton's Batman's going to come back. They're going to bring back that version and make a movie where he's interacting with these new like Aquaman, Jason Momoa, and Wonder Woman, and he's basically the like Obi-Wan Kenobi for the Justice League in some sort of interdimensional thing, which on paper to me sounds kind of dope because I like Michael Keaton a lot, but I don't think that's actually going to end up happening. You know, it seems like
see,
they
man,
lose steam on their ideas pretty quick.
yeah, I was about to say, man, to me, like I heard somebody say this that I used to work with. But he was saying that he thinks if you want to compare the two, Marvel has better movies, whereas DC has better animation and video games. And he
Yeah,
was
hell yeah.
like saying that, I mean, overall, like, I mean, because DC, I mean, you got to think they got that Batman game, they got all those Batman games, they got Injustice. Spider-Man is really the only good Marvel game. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
but
they
I don't
released
think,
some busted ass Avengers game, and I wanted to play it, but then I read every review, and it was like, this is the sorriest fucking game of all time.
yeah, they just do it just to put the name on it, make a quick money grab. So some little kid is like, "Oh, Dad, I want this because it's got Thor on it." You know what I'm saying? And
Hell
then
yeah.
they get a quick $40 out of somebody, and the kid plays it for like a month and then throws it off to the side because it's whack. But I think Marvel doesn't care because they make so much money on the movies, and I think vice versa, DC don't care because they make so much money on the game. Where it's like, we just licensing this product out, and people come back to us with some shit. And I think just depending on how they want to take it, like I think DC didn't take it serious for so long that now, anytime somebody comes with an idea, like, yeah, Michael Keaton, like, yeah, fuck it, do it, man, get Danny
Yeah.
DeVito.
Well, they
What I'm saying?
need
Let him
to
be the
now,
Penguin.
like,
You know what I'm
because
saying? Like,
otherwise they ain't gonna win that game, and they're still making movies. So anybody making a movie, they want to make money off of it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So I think their plan now is to they got like a Robert Pattinson Batman coming out that looks kind of dark and almost sort
yeah,
of Christopher Nolan ish. So, they won when Christopher Nolan made all those movies. They were consistently like $1 billion movies, so they won those. And they're gonna find out. They'll find that Batman again, and they'll figure it out.
well,
But
to me,
if they were smart, like they should have tried to really lock in. This is what Marvel did. They locked in Iron Man. You know what I'm saying? And
hell yeah.
basically, Iron Man links all the Marvel movies. So having Robert Downey Jr. be that guy, like you remember, like when he starts fucking with the new Spider-Man and stuff, it kind of like is handing the throne off because it's like I'm about to leave. You know what I'm saying? So like these stories are going to get taken over into the Spider-Man realm because they want to do that multiverse thing, like you said, all that. So Doctor Strange, but like they establish those people and like get them locked in contractually too, where it's like you're not leaving. You know what I'm saying? Because like they needed like it to be was Christian Bale or to stay, you know, him, or to be Affleck and just stay him. So that way they could have just locked it in because they were smart.
Why wouldn't you want to do that, dude? It was fucking like as an actor, I get one to do different shit, but it's like you're not acting like Iron Man every day of your life. You just have to do a movie every like 6 months. So
well, I think it's not just that. It's probably the shit on the side. Like they don't want him to work with other shit in the meantime. You know what I'm saying? Like probably. Trying to, you know, messing up his schedule.
Any of it. He can't like go out and press and shit. Yeah, probably.
Or like do other movies that he wants to do. You know what I mean? Because Ben Affleck be trying to produce movies too. You know what I'm saying? So it's probably just fucking up what he's trying to get into. But
I love Ben Affleck. Hey, everybody out there that
I thought he was a good Batman.
Fuck you. Yeah, I did too.
I actually like Batman vs Superman movie, dude. Like, because like I said, it had some flaws, but one of the problems with it was too long.
Yeah.
And Lex Luthor's character wasn't really like Lex Luthor. And Superman is lame, dog. Like he's just a fucking big pouty ass strong. It's like if you went to the gym and saw the strongest dude ever crying, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what Superman is.
I liked Zack Snyder for a long time. I love that Dawn of the Dead remake he did early 2000s. That was one of the first successful zombie movies to come out, you know, where he made zombies fast. He kind of made zombie whatever movies and TV what it is today with that movie. And I love that movie. And I love 300. That movie's another dope ass visual ass movie. But I got to say, man, his style, and even like he did Watchmen, he did a version of that as a movie. He has a great visual style. It's beautiful. It's like he was a music video director before he was a movie director. So you can tell he knows how to like make shit look cool, but motherfucker does not know how to make shit like fast paced. It's always
interesting.
And it's always, that's why I didn't like Batman vs Superman, because
it was slow.
It was slow, and it was just like
these movies are slow because the Watchmen is kind of slow too. But what I wanted to say,
like I'm saying with this Justice League, it's just a lot of slow ass shots of like epic music, slow motion. It's like, dude, I need a little bit more than just this for 4 fucking hours or 3.
Well, what I wanted to say was, if they had been smart and got Batman locked in, they could have told all these other characters' stories through Batman. Yeah. So like have him be the ultimate detective and he discovers the Flash and then he discovers Aquaman, you know what I'm saying? And like,
I mean, that's what they did in this movie, but it's like in 5 minutes where he's like, oh, here's this guy from Atlanta.
Right.
We go talk.
Right, exactly. Like show that, let that be the movie, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause then in that he can get caught up in other shit. There's a villain going on behind all that, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a better story to see that than to be like, well, now we're together and there's some big, strong force, galactical force coming at us. That's what it always is some shit like that, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, so what we got to do, you know what I mean? And you know, get to it. But it's just like, I don't know, man. I feel like DC is stranglehold themselves by what they've chosen to do already, so they can't really work themselves out of it too much, you know.
We'll get into more Marvel here in a second, but what my halfway through Justice League review is, that's a no for me, dog.
I'll check it out.
I might not finish it. Like Kendra's already said she's out. She can't.
I haven't seen the first one in so long. Like, it's basically a whole new movie.
I mean, that's what
I don't even remember the first.
It's almost hard to remember what's new, but there's a lot of new shit with the cyborg guy, and they've made the special effects much better from what I've seen. But again, very slow. I'm 2 hours in, and basically they're just now forming the alliance.
Did they change the end?
I think so.
Because I mean, I was gonna say if they didn't,
they added a bunch of other shit. So we'll see. I'll give my full review when we're done. But
see, what I remember about that movie was that it was really kind of like you said, just slow paced and convoluted, and then it got to a point where it was just like, all right, everybody, we got to come together because the villain called us out to the park, so we got to go scrap. And like, that's kind of just what they did, and then they just like scrapped in the middle of the city, and that was kind of the end of it. So I don't really remember much more of that.
I mean, I would be interested to watch the old one just to see exactly what they changed. in the edit because I remember the beginning of the old movie, the actual movie starting way different than this one. There's so much more exposition about the mother boxes and shit. I don't know. It just seems like a movie that was made in retaliation to Avengers, where they had Infinity Stones and Thanos, and this has mother boxes, and this guy named like the main villain, I forget what his name is.
I'm saying I can't even remember who the bad guy was.
The bad guy in the movie we saw was named Steppenwolf, but he has like a boss named, I can't believe, Deathlock, or what's his name?
Oh, okay, I remember that. I think Deathstroke or something.
But Deathstroke maybe, but they don't. Hold on, Dark Side.
Oh, I don't.
So, but they never showed him in the movie we saw. So there's a lot of shit. Like you actually see him in this, and they actually explain who he is. But he's like Thanos. So again, it's like you can't help but compare the movies they're making, and that's they didn't have to do it the same way.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like they could have just did something totally different, dog. Make their shit more,
and I think
mystery thriller based.
But they might be doing the multiverse thing. So again, we'll push this
because like you saw that Joker movie though, right?
Yeah.
Like so, why not try to take that same mindset to the Flash or to Aquaman? You know what I'm saying? Like
here's the problem with Flash,
that type of shit. You know what I'm
saying? He
has
the most lamest villains of all. He's a guy.
Oh yeah.
Also, the power to run fast. I don't care to see that. It's not cool. It's not something I like watching.
Well,
so
you know what's funny about that is you can't show the Flash running fast without slowing everything down. Like so, like speed is interpreted in slow motion. Yeah,
you see a zip. You know,
right? Kills everybody in 2 seconds, but then nobody wants to see that. So it's like I mean, I get it.
But he's kind of the most powerful character because he can actually go through time and shit. So it's like, okay, whatever. But again, we'll get back to this. We'll see what I feel after I finish this, whenever, maybe in a year after I finish But I did want to bring up one other thing, because alongside this movie and, them remaking or revisiting movies that are already out, Aaron, there's a very interesting story going around that's near and dear to my heart. So do you remember the Robin Williams classic Mrs. Doubtfire?
Yeah.
So apparently, Robin Williams,
of course I remember
legend.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
How can you not? I mean, people
happened in the 90s, man.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
I think that happened in the 90s, man.
And it did happen in the 90s. And we'll probably talk about that on my other show, happened in the 90s. But other than my shameless plug, the story that I read was that Robin Williams did so much improv on the set of that movie that they filmed all of it. And so much shit on the cutting room floor that, he would do levels. So he'd give you like a G-rated improv of a scene, but then he'd go ham and do a crazy one. So apparently there is an NC-17 version cut of Mrs. Doubtfire with Robin Williams just saying complete fucking insane shit as Mrs. Doubtfire. So can we get this out? Do you want to see
the only sad thing about it is like I would love to see that, but I wouldn't at the same time because Robin Williams unfortunately passed away, and I just feel weird about.
I think it would be a tribute though. I think they should just,
because that like brings up
the OG and then give you that alongside it, just to show you how cool of a guy he was.
I remember at the end of the original Miss Doubtfire, they do a bloopers cut, I think, where he's just like doing stuff. So that, to me, I remember watching that even as a kid, being like, oh, that's gold. You know what I'm saying? So like if he's doing that, plus he's being just like, oh, you better go up there and wash your ass, little
you're hitting on my dick, buddy. Like all that shit when that bus driver tries to hit on him and shit.
Yeah, doing stuff like that would be hilarious for sure. But like I said, it's just kind of sad because like, he's not around. So it's just weird to like, especially when it's like an actor. Because like if it's like a musician, you can kind of do it with music a little bit more because voices isn't the same as like seeing him. You know what I mean? Because like, damn, dog, like he don't even know this exists. You know what I'm saying? Like that they released this and let the world.
I don't know. To me, I disagree. I think it would just be a great tribute to him, just to be like, this dude is such a.
I love it.
Like we still got shit.
I love Robin Williams.
I love that.
I mean, like I legitimately, I was thinking about this one day when I told my mom, I was like, I can't even think of Robin Williams movie I didn't even really like. Like I'm sure there's some out there that aren't that great.
There
but
was
like
some
even
like
the ones that are like obscure.
He did this weird ass movie called 1 Hour Photo where he played. Like,
that one was crazy. But that's still a good movie though. If you
No,
actually watch it as a
yeah.
movie, it's a good movie. You know what I'm saying? It's just a weird movie to see him in, but
But like Flubber, Jack, fucking Mrs.
bro, one of my
Doubtfire.
favorite movies of his, we actually watched it in film school, was called, I think, The World's Greatest Dad. You see that movie?
God,
Bro, that movie is
yeah.
crazy, but that movie actually is really actually kind of dope though too.
You know who directed that?
Who?
Bobcat Goldthwait.
Like,
Guy from Police Academy. The guy's like,
oh god, that's crazy.
That guy's.
But yeah, I mean, but yeah, like I said, all his movies, man, like even like Patch Adams and shit. Like I saw him in the theater and was like, damn, yo, like I am over here really
Good Will
touched by this
Hunting,
movie,
dude.
like I am really
not your
touched
fault.
right now.
It's not your fault, Aaron. It's not-
Yeah, bro, I legitimately fucking cried in Patch Adams as a little kid. I think that was the first movie I ever cried in. Just like, damn,
Dude.
yo.
Watch the movie Jack now, and when he's giving his
Oh man.
Victorian speech at the end.
Oh yeah, dude.
The only problem with Jack is Bill Cosby's in it a lot. But,
Yeah.
just don't.
But what's the other, like, you know, what one got me that people don't need, that gets crazy, you'll never think you'll cry in? Fucking Bicentennial Man, dog. You seen that?
I don't
shit? That's when he's
remember
the
that.
robot.
Wasn't he a
Bro.
robot?
He's like a fucking like butler robot, but then he has to like watch all the he falls in love with the people and shit, and like watches them all have to pass away and shit, and like it's just crazy, man. Like I think at the end they figure out a way to make him as a robot turn into a person, which is actually hilarious because it's exactly what we were talking about yesterday. But yeah,
No!
dog, like, I think that's the end of the movie. It's like he's a straight up like metal robot, and they start making technology as he like ages through time to like make like, you know, like more and more like organic technology so that he can like actually age and die because he wants to like live a life as a human. So at some point the robot's mind gets downloaded into like a semi-organic, semi-tech body that he'll like pass away in age, and he gets a wife and like
My God.
lives
I
his
need to
life.
watch
Yeah,
this
dog.
shit
Like that's
again.
what the whole Bicentennial Man movie is, dude. Like that shit is crazy.
Well, if there is an NC-17 cut of Mrs. Doubtfire, I say release that shit. I'll give you all the money to watch that. I would love to
man.
see that shit.
I mean, yeah, you could charge $200 for that and just put it on
mean,
Broadway.
Make it so it goes to a charity or something. Make it like so it does some good because, you know, something maybe about mental illness or depression or something. But I would love to see that shit. And I'm like you, man. I can't really think. I can't even really remember everything Robin Williams did, but I can't think of anything he did do. Like fucking, he was in Jumanji and shit. You know, like
That's what I'm saying, bro.
you keep thinking out loud and remember an amazing movie he did. So shout out to Robin Williams. Rest in peace, Robin Williams. And I hope we get to see you as Miss Doubtfire, just
Man.
straight spin that
Here go,
flame.
here go a conspiracy, man. Robin Williams didn't actually kill himself, man. Like Hollywood offed him because he was about to start, you know, really taking over, bruh.
He was about to buy his masters and shit.
Yeah, man.
No, dude, I'm not going down this road with you today. We're not going down conspiracy. We're shutting the door. So keeping it on track here. And also on topic with superheroes. And in our last episode, my wife so scandalously referred to us as the Dollar Tree Falcon and Winter Soldier. Which,
Oh man,
Yeah.
she said that. I didn't even know that was a TV show. I didn't even know that that was a thing. Like when you put that
what
picture,
the
up, like,
fuck?
I was like, "Where did you get that from?"
Well, that's a TV show, Aaron, and it's coming. It's actually just released its first episode today. So
Oh, wow.
there you go. So hopefully we get some of those viewers watching our version of the Falcon and Winter Soldier that apparently is from the Dollar Tree, according to my very disrespectful wife.
Man, why would they put those two together? Like that's just like being like, "Hey, everybody, you want to see Ant-Man and fucking
It's
Venom?"
like they're saying it's like the odd. I don't know. I'm interested because it just looks like an insane action movie, and so I'm in. I really can't say that I haven't liked anything that Marvel's put out. Some of it's good, some of it's less good, but their Disney Plus shit's been really good.
I didn't really like that last Avengers movie that much, man. I don't know. It was all right, but
I liked it. Again, too long, but I don't know what you do
Yeah.
with 55 characters that you have to tell a story and finish up and, you know, give all that tribute to everybody. So it was what it was. But again, we're the dollar. So think of us as Dollar Tree, Anthony Mackie, and whatever Winter Soldier is. Sebastian Stans or whatever the fuck that guy's name is.
Right.
So we are those guys. We're out here. We're superheroes in this weird universe. What is our first mission, Aaron? What are we doing?
I feel like us as the Dollar Tree version.
The Dollar Tree version of the superheroes. You can fly. I don't like. You can't even fly. You can run.
Nah, I was about to say.
Fast, and
I'm about to say they just gonna probably just be bitching us at the fucking superhero lab and just be like, "Hey man, y'all go get some fucking coffee and come back over here and sit in the corner, man." Like,
shut up.
like,
over there, shut the fuck up. Go out when we tell you to go out. I see. Here's what I think we do. This is our mission, Aaron. We're going to free America from the tyranny of student loan debt. We're going undercover and we're gonna basically erase all data from Sally Mae to free and give everyone a new sense of hope in the world.
Oh, so we're a terrorist organization, cyber terrorism.
Say that, but at the same time, you know.
No, I feel like that's a noble cause. I mean, if we're gonna be out there doing some good in the world, you know what I mean? But I feel like it would be more like not us actually pulling that off, because it's like none of us know anything about computers like that. So it'd just be, you know, the mission is we ran up in Sally Mae and stole a fucking computer from the receptionist. And
we're like the worst spies just in jail. Stuff like, who are you guys? Like, we're here to clean up Sally Mae.
Big fake mustaches.
The computer room.
It's like, we've been working here for 3 years. Like, we've never seen you guys. Like,
it's me, Jerry. What are you talking about? We partied. Your wife did cocaine. Remember that?
Don't you know, Jim? Don't you know Jim? I mean, Steve, Don. You come on, man, Tony. You know him.
Like, this is basically your Falcon power. You just have a hang glider that you have access to. So we
just got a skateboard with some wings.
And then we go up to the top of the building, wherever this is at, and we try to hang glide our way to freedom. But that probably wouldn't go too well for us.
To me, that's honestly like, I think they had a show on I think it was called The Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is what it was. And that's kind of what I kind of felt like that show really was just like, we're gonna give y'all all the missions that, you know, because Thor and all of them, man, Iron Man, he ain't got time for this shit, man. So look, we just gave y'all some super guns and just go out there and make shit work, man. Like, do some superhero shit, but you know, you a man. Like, cause that's what that show really was. It was like the agent that was in all those Avengers movies, that guy. You remember that dude?
Yeah, Coulson or whatever his name.
Yeah, whoever he is. Like, it was like him being like the leader, which was even more hilarious. And then just like, you know, a ragtag polyamorous squad of, you know,
what are they all fucking? What the fuck?
No, you know how it is.
They're all polyamorous. They're in an open.
What is that word? Where it's just like they got like every race just like, you know, mixed up. Everybody's just there, all as one. You know, they got like an Asian woman, a black guy that's a gay dude, and then like, you know, like a tall like redhead kid and a blonde short girl, like, you know, just like everything. Yeah, you know, it's like they had like everything that you could want to be all mixed in there, and then it's just like
their boss.
Yeah, you know,
Captain Planet. The power is yours.
Miss Doubtfire comes out the back, you know. But honestly, though,
this is the new version. This is the movie I want. So like Disney has access to every kind of like every brand now.
Yeah.
Put them all in a movie. Put Luke Skywalker in with Spider-Man fighting some fucking Disney, but like Jafar from Aladdin or something.
I mean, don't they have a Lego movie? Like, they should just do that for Lego movie. I mean, if nothing else.
I couldn't watch. Everyone loved those. I couldn't get into that shit.
I mean, I think it's funny what they're talking about.
I don't know what it was about, but
I thought like the Batman one was funny. I don't really like all the other ones, but I'm just saying, like, if they wanted to do that, they could just, you know, that's what Legos is. You mix all that stuff together, so it would work perfect.
But here's my problem, Aaron. If I
then they also had Kingdom Hearts too. Kingdom Hearts is that?
What's that?
You know that game Kingdom Hearts? Like, that's what Kingdom Hearts is. It's like they mix all like Mickey Mouse and Toy Story and yeah, like Final Fantasy and all that's kind of like mixed in. So I mean, if they made that a movie, like they technically could do all that too, if because they do have Marvel in I think the Kingdom Hearts game too. I think Spider-Man's in it.
Oh, really?
I think they did start putting Marvel characters in some of them. I gotta
They
look back
bought
at
all
that.
that shit. I mean, it's only
Yeah.
a matter of time, but especially in video games, I'm sure that's probably about to happen. But
Yeah.
here's my thing that I think, and this is probably more a statement about my personality than anything and my character. If I had any sort of superpower at all, I don't see myself being a superhero. I feel like I would just use it to make money in the best way possible, you know? Like I don't think I'd be saving anything. If I'm
Oh, I'd be doing the
Flash,
cheesiest shit ever. Oh yeah.
like if I'm the Flash, I'm just stealing money at all times. That's just what I'm gonna do.
I mean, I honestly like I am gonna get the bag as the Flash at first, but I'm not. I feel like I would, with that power, I would consider maybe trying to save people.
I mean, I'll save people along the way. If I see somebody about to
Yeah.
die, I'm helping them out. But my thing is like, I'm not signing up for anything, and I'm not even probably going to tell anybody that I'm doing anything.
Oh no, I wouldn't tell nobody that.
You know,
Yeah, I wouldn't tell nobody a word of that shit.
pull $100,000 out. Just nobody's going to see anything, and that's
Yeah.
Am I hurting anybody? At this point, I don't believe in real money anymore. So to me, I'm just.
I mean,
stealing
dude,
paper.
the dude is so fast that like, as they go to close the gate on a fucking bank vault or whatever, he could literally like pause time, slip in there in the little crack of the door. You know what I'm saying? Go in there and be like, blue, 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 take all that out, and then dip back out so the camera don't even see, but just like it was there, it was gone, and then like. The door closes and nobody even know you was in there, except they just felt like the wind, I guess, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, you blew through that bitch. And then that's it. Like you literally, like people would be like, something's going on, but they wouldn't know who it was. So like me, I would hit a couple banks real quick and then just like not spend that bread though. So that's where you would fuck up, is you would eventually try to spend that money, you know what I'm saying? Because you actually would want a whole world of dirt.
I wouldn't do it in the same town though. See, if I'm Flash, you're so fast you can run around the world in like a second, right? So
Okay.
go from like LA to New York to Orlando up to Anchorage, rob like 5 banks in a minute. And if they try to come to you, they're gonna be like, there's no way this one guy could have robbed a bank you're never gonna get connected.
So check this out. So we were talking about earlier about if the Joker take the Joker premise and just apply it to the other movies. So like this is the most hardcore Flash movie ever, where he takes up a life of crime. But what's gonna happen is exactly this. He's gonna do what you did, hit a whole bunch of different cities and get the bag. But then how do you clean all this dirty ass money, dog? The fast way to clean money, you gotta sell drugs. So then he goes and does a big ass dope deal, but then he gets high on his own supply because he's the fucking Flash.
That's what I was gonna say. Like he's all cranked up, like running too fast. So like Jesus,
exactly,
colliding with people with like breakneck.
right?
He's going at full speed and he hits somebody, they're gonna turn into dust. So
yeah, it's over. He just killed like mad people. So that's what's gonna happen. He's gonna kill mad people.
Let's write that where it's just like a R-rated Flash movie where he gets all cranked up, and it doesn't even have to be a real comic book. Like think about guys who got. What was that movie or show on Hulu where it was kids they were like English bad kids doing like community service, and they got
the Unknowns or something like that. It was called something like that. The Misfit.
Something happens where people get random superpowers.
Yeah.
You focus on like a bunch of people who got them, and their first idea is to just commit a shit ton of crimes and just follow. It's like. You basically make state property, but at the beginning of the movie, the guy who's Beans like gets struck by lightning and actually can whatever, make fire come out of his hands or some shit.
I mean, hey man, I'm down to fuck with that.
That's a good damn. Hey, nobody steal that shit. The guy in Saudi Arabia listening to this, do not steal this.
You just gotta
By the way, Aaron, we're at 400 listens, and I know on the lost episode that you said. It's 400 listens and 40 some episodes. So granted, 10 listens an episode basically, but
So it's like 400 listens in 400 days isn't like a good premise, but I mean, hey, I guess if you got to measure yourself against something, man, hey,
It's better than
that's
0, dude.
hey, man, far from viral, but I'll take it, dude. Like, well, hopefully them 10 people keep listening, man.
Dude,
We
we're
love
just gonna
y'all.
open this. So this is just gonna be the beginning of a Justice League Link story. Where right now we're gonna start like doing a podcast about how we're committing crimes. So it's just gonna go crazy. How this is us chronicling some shit.
I was about to say, man, it's such a lengthy list of evidence where, like, when we do get pulled up on the
Yeah.
stand, and it's just like, so here it says you feel like fuck the world and the president here and the government is plotting
Sir, you
against
literally
you.
laid out this whole thing on a podcast 10 years ago.
That's like,
I
man, look,
I have
man.
no idea what you're talking about. That's not real. And they're like, sir,
Right.
let's play episode 52 of Ain't Life Funny.
Go to your YouTube page here, and you'll see. It's like, man, I was just joking, man. Like, I don't remember the shit I be saying. Like, I just be talking,
Man,
man.
I was high, man.
Oh man,
Who knew I
exactly.
was actually gonna follow through on that one? I didn't think so.
It's like, man, I'm just like a big ass pot of gumbo, man. Like shit just be getting thrown in there, man, and it gets boiled into a stew. I don't know what's in it, man. I couldn't tell you, but it's good. It comes out perfect every time.
But so if we do become like dollar store superheroes, Falcon, Winter Soldier, whoever, I don't think we're gonna be on the Avengers. I think we're gonna be hanging out with like Thanos or.
I was
like,
gonna say,
Hulk or some shit.
if I did get some type of power, like you said, like you would rob a bank or whatever, like me, like regardless of what the power is, I would find the most gimmicky way to use it to just be like the most mildest celebrity to just make bank and like go to Vegas or some shit. Like if I could just like if I had like Jean Grey abilities, the telekinesis shit, like I would just be doing the most insane card tricks and shit. They just be like, dude, how do you do that? It was like, man, musician never reveals his secret. You know what I'm saying? And they just walk off. But like secretly, I could just make shit disappear. You know what I mean? But like if that was my gift, like I would do that and just make money because like then you never have to risk yourself. Like even robbing a bank, like you could go to jail potentially. Like or if people know you have powers and they want to use them and shit. Like if you just did that, they just be like, we can't explain it, but he's rich as fuck. Like that's all I would do with my shit, man. Because you could make bank doing some dumb shit. Like even if you were to Flash, like make people think you're teleporting and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like just whatever the cheesiest gimmick you can do.
Because he can do it as like intensely as he wants. So he can just like go win the Olympics or be a great football player or some shit.
Yeah, and just get the most easiest check you can and just be like, people, how do you do that? Just like
the Avengers come up, they're like, hey man, we need you. And you're like, look, man.
Nah. I'm just nice. I'm just cool. Like you guys remember Bo Jackson? I'm like that, except I can just kind of do it even better. And just laugh and walk off.
100 pounds, okay? That's what it is. I can't.
Then one day, like what is it, like Iron Man or somebody just grab you by the nuts, like, I know what you is, motherfucker. Look, man, keep it on the low, dog. Like shit, man, trying to get this money, man. Shit. Like,
are you gonna pay me? Because otherwise, there's a lot of money in this superhero game.
Right, dude. Like that would
Widows
be my shameless
peanut butter
thing.
Sandwiches and shit. I want to eat some filet mignon.
Right. Like, I mean, dude, like, imagine if you had the Black Widow power. Like, you could just make shit out of nothing.
She doesn't even
have
Black Widow. Doesn't have any fucking power.
I mean, what we call it? What's that chick named? WandaVision chick.
Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, like, can't she just make anything out of anything, right?
Apparently, I mean, that's what they showed in the show. I mean, what I want. This is the power. If I get an X-Men power and I just wanted to go like easy breezy, I want Gambit's power because basically Gambit can make shit explode. He can do what you said. He could just be rich doing like shows.
Just doing tricks, yeah.
And he just gets pussy all the time. He's just a suave dude who plays cards and he can blow some shit up when he wants to. And he is a thief. So that's the guy I think I'd be more like a Gambit. But unfortunately I look like me, so people would be like, ew.
Nah, man, because like even like I've seen like those mentalist guys where they like go and read the crowd and be like, someone from your past with the letter GABCD is speaking to me.
Oh my god!
Like,
yes.
You know what I mean? Like
my great grandmother's name was Charlotte. Oh my god!
Oh, that guy is. You know what I mean? Like that guy's doing exactly that. You know what I'm saying? Like he's pretending to be like a Professor X type, some magical dude, and he really is just, exploiting some gift that he, some little bullshit trick he knows. So like same shit, man. Like you just go up there and just hustle somebody like that. Like that's the bad dog. Like literally, those people are ugly too. Like that minimalist guy is fat as shit. Like I've seen plenty of people that can do that and make money, and they don't look like nothing, dog. So you ain't got to be like some beautiful
don't
dude.
become a hypnotist, okay? You're just,
I'm just saying, whatever the gift is, dude. I would figure out a way to hustle it.
Aaron, the comedy hypnoptist.
Right, exactly.
On my fingers, you are going to bust nut right in front of everybody. You're just like, somebody actually used to do that.
Oh God,
There's a
that
guy,
shit is fake,
I forget
dude.
what his name was, but I think Joe Rogan or somebody talked about, he was like a comedian that everybody knew, but he would literally like hypnotize people on stage. And I mean, Joe Rogan said this guy made a dude bust in his pants on stage.
Man, that hypnotism shit is fake, dog. I feel like
I can't believe it's real, but I've never had it done, so I can't really.
Well, I heard someone say that it was a story on another podcast I watched that he was like at a Vegas show and the guy was doing the hypnotism shit, and he said he was drunk. So he was like really already toe up and wanted to go up on stage. So the guy like, calls him out the crowd and he goes up and he said he had like all the people lined up and was hypnotizing them all in a row. And like it was a lady sitting next to him. And like I think he told her to do something like act like a dog or something like that. And she did it. And so he got to him and he said, act like you drunk. And then he was, and then he said, he was like, motherfucker, I'm already drunk, you know what I'm saying? And then like all the people in the crowd started laughing, you know what I'm saying? And like that was the end of the show and they wrap it up. So like he didn't get hypnotized, you know what I'm saying?
Act like you coked out of your mind, like motherfucker, I am coked out. Like,
right, but then what happened was the next day though he said that he saw the lady in the hotel like that was next to him. They act like a dog or whatever, and he said, man, like he went over to her and said, man, I gotta ask. He said before when he went to touch her, he said he like whispered in her ear, and like then that's what the hypnotism was. He said, man, what did he say to you to get you hypnotized? He said, oh, he whispered in my ear, just go with it. So I just went along with it. So she just was bullshitting the whole time.
It just is. It's getting stage of me. I'm like, just go with it.
Yeah, dog. Like, so apparently, all that shit is bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Because like she could have gotten paid too.
Saw a guy come in his pants, so I don't know. I've never.
Did he see the nut? Did he see the nut, Joe Rogan?
Wait, let me see the nut come out. I get people naked on stage, and you can see the results of what I'm
saying is, I've seen Gianna Michaels come in her pants plenty of times on camera. Was it all real or not? You know what I'm saying? The people are actors, dog. So hey, man, anything can look like anything, like I said. So hypnotism saying that somebody came in their pants, or did you see the actual ejaculate?
You're the bad comedy club audience. You're in the back with your arms folded, like, I don't see a stain on those pants. Sir. You a fraud.
If the pants is dry, the hypnotist is alive.
Pull your pants down. Let me see the nut.
It's not that I want to see it. I'm just saying I need.
That's all your superpower is. You're just the biggest. You're like skeptical.
Like skeptic man. They'd be like, Superman, tall as just a leap over a single building in a single bound. Be like, he can't leap over that building.
Yeah.
That's a tall
Superman,
building.
come over here for a second.
Jump over that.
Single bound. Let's see this happen. I don't believe it.
He shuffled his feet. He's shuffling his feet, y'all. Look at this. Look at him.
Flash, you ain't that fast. Run a 40 real quick.
Don't cheat this time. Just with no powers, run the 40. Let me see that. Then we can talk about who the fastest man in the world is.
I think we stumbled on a good script idea, though. A gang of people who are bad bank robbers or bad criminals, but then something happens where people get superpowers and they become good criminals after that or something. So,
I think it would be funny if you base all that off the coronavirus giving people superpowers once they get vaccinated.
Just call
that's
it
how everybody gets their power
or some shit. Nobody wants to hear Corona now. Like it's over. Nobody can hear that shit. It's gonna be like Voldemort. You can't say it in a year.
I hear you, man. That who shall not be named.
Yeah, exactly. That virus, Aaron.
I feel you, man. I kind of feel like that too. It's like I'm over that shit, bro. I kind of feel shitty about that though. Not to really talk about it too much, but just because I feel like there's people that since this has started have not taken any precautions, haven't gotten sick, been doing all this shit, living their life, ain't quarantined, and just like, acting like it's not that big a deal. And it's just like, damn, bro, that's crazy, man. Cause like I really been like wanting to do shit and then I haven't, had it. You know what I'm saying? Cause it's like, man, I ain't trying to, it's just crazy, man.
I mean, it's just a while. I mean, one thing we didn't know what to expect, so I think to look back on it now and to see what happened. I mean, people definitely died, and all the tragedy that happened, all the crazy shit that happened in 1 year. It just seems wild, and I don't know about the actual events and like what everybody else did. I've tried not to judge anybody for what they were doing. Publicly or privately, if they wanted to wear masks or whatever, like do you. I've had to because of my situation, but yeah, it feels like where we're at now and like looking back on it, to remember what was being said at the time, it could have been, it's even more of an indication that it could have just been done way better.
Yeah.
Like something should have been prepared, where the clusterfuck that was like the first 4 or 5 months of that situation didn't have to happen like that.
Well, I feel like I mean, I had said this before about Trump, dude. Is like I feel like his fucking agenda from day one was just to just stir shit up. So like when some real shit popped off, he was like, "Well, how do I make a controversy out of this?" You're like, because that's I think what he was supposed to be doing, dog. Just like if you can make some shit be a story, do it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like kind of like you ever seen somebody like this is a person that you might not meet all the time, but like they just always in some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like constant like, oh man, you heard about so and so, and then they'd be like, hey man, what you do yesterday? Just like they want to know your business so they could tell other people your business.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I'm saying? Like that's kind of like how Trump was, man. It's like anywhere you could stir the pot, he gonna stir it. So like when that shit popped up, it was like this wasn't pot stirring time. This was like let's all come together and like figure this shit out. You know what I'm saying? But instead, he just kept mixing up the beef. Like, hey man, fuck it. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, he was doing business as usual, but it wasn't the same situation. It was like if it was just normal,
right?
When there wasn't a virus, fine, you can do that and be that guy. But when it's like that, you didn't need that, when all that shit was going on. So it's wild, man. Like we've talked about it ad nauseum, and I'm like you. I'm now fairly sure that my family's safe from that, which is all that I ever cared about. Me and my, you and my actual family and stuff, and my wife's family. So now that that's sort of gone, I'm over it. I'm like you, man. I wish that life didn't have to go on hold. Luckily for you and me, we've sort of been like staying active and doing things and trying different things, and I've been working, so I've been lucky. So I don't have a lot of regrets other than just the missed time and the missed like seeing my family and all that stuff. So it's been crazy. I wish I didn't have to live through like a shitty time in history like that. And my interest in it now is when we get 10, 15 years down the line and people actually have time to look at the whole situation, and analyze it and what was going on. Like, what will the opinion be then? It's hard to really like take any stock, because really all my only emotion is sort of relief that nobody I know has been really affected by it. Like my nephew got it, but he's young, and he didn't give it to anybody, and you didn't get it, and none of my
Well, no, that's what I was saying, man. Like it's people that have just been blessed and like didn't think it was a big deal and don't realize how fortunate they really have been. You know what I'm saying? Because like it could have gone otherwise. You know what I'm saying? Because like you know what I mean? Like I don't know, bro. Like I feel like it took everybody doing everything though, because maybe you kind of need those people doing that too, because it's kind of like a science experiment, you know what I'm saying? And like you need like a control group, and then you need like an experiment group, and I mean, it's kind of like lemurs or whatever. Like what is it? The lemons, the fucking things that'll run off the cliff and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like so, you kind of need them first.
And shout out to that old ass game Lemmings. Remember that game?
Yeah, Lemmings. Yeah. But I mean, hey man, like you said, you kind of need them crash test dummies though, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, because then other people can sit back and be like, hey, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, same thing with the vaccine, man. I'm kind of sitting back watching that, like, hey, let me see what y'all do with it.
The country is, there's always going to be that. It could be whatever the issue is. There's always going to be people like, I'm just going to do what I want to do, and fuck you, and I like fuck everybody else. There's going to be that anyway. So, whether. I think like the thing with Trump that you could say is that he made that more possible. He made it okay for people to act like that, and made it a thing that wasn't really looked down upon by, but then again, I don't know. I can't really judge people because I was a shitty person in my 20s, and I know that if I was alive now and in my early 20s, I probably would have been acting a fucking fool too, man. So maybe it is what it is. I just want everybody to be okay. I don't have much more to
Right.
say about other than that. And hopefully we can get over it. But it will be interesting to see. We've lived through some shit. People our age, we've lived through 9/11. We've lived through like some pretty fucking horrific shit, some great shit, personally. And this thing is another one where it's interesting to see like way down the line, people were able to sort of analyze shit like Vietnam and stuff way after the fact, and you get a different perspective and a different opinion. And I'm just interested to hear what that's going to be like. I hope I live long enough to hear people explain exactly what the fuck went on. Because that's
Man,
the
that's what's
craziest
so
thing. Like,
yeah.
we still don't really know exactly,
Oh yeah, dude.
other than viruses happening, and maybe it was just a chance thing. It's like we really don't know how
Well,
it all came.
that's what was always so wild to me though about the people that were so anti-virus that were being like, oh, that shit ain't real, or I ain't wearing a mask and all that. Because it's like, bruh, you don't have a microscope. You have no knowledge whatsoever on what to do with that shit. Like, you know how to split a cell? You know how to fucking incubate a fucking whatever virus disease? You can study the shit? No, right? So like, why are you thinking these people are bullshitting you? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the part that I didn't get. You know what I'm saying? Like, now, in terms of like you said, looking back on it all and shit, like, will we ever get the true story of what really happened? Because like, I think some shit did really go down in China and with that, facility or whatever. Because it seems like maybe they were operating kind of, second rate. But that's kind of the whole gimmick of going to other countries to produce shit, isn't it? Is that
Yeah.
they do shit kind of low budget so that they can save money and save you money on the back, on the front end, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know. I just it's a strange time that we do live in. Like you said, I would be curious to find out like what they really will reveal about it. But like I said, just the thing that was really sad was just the response to it, because it was something that kind of involved everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
Yeah.
kind of like, yo, we need to be on the same page. You know what I'm saying? Like,
It doesn't
and
make
people
me
really weren't.
like hopeful if let's say somebody says there's an asteroid that's going to hit Earth in like 20 days. They're like, like everyone's going to die in 20 days. It doesn't make me hopeful for some shit like that, or some shit where we really all do need to have one voice and like pull together. It was like, if that happens, man, this doesn't give me hope that it's going to go smoothly, if something like where we really actually have to do that. Because the next one could be where it's like, it sucks the precedent's been set where, like you said, some people didn't do shit. They didn't wear masks. They were argumentative about it, and they didn't get sick, and nobody they knew got sick. So to them, if it happens again, they'll just be like, fuck this. This is some bullshit, just like the last one. So I think it's going to
That's what I'm
make
saying.
it, God forbid it ever happens again. But if it does ever happen again, I think it's going to make it harder for them to rein everybody in and get them under one, solid unit of opinion about some shit.
Yeah, I think this is a good point. We could wrap things up here so too. But one thing that kind of comforts me, but it's also a really fucked up fact, is just that the history of the world is people have come and gone, dog. Civilizations have risen and fallen. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit has happened where like Pompeii, a volcano blew up and killed them motherfuckers, dog. Like, that shit was real. Like Japan, you know what I'm saying? Like tidal waves and shit. Like, stuff just happened that's beyond your control, bro. You know what I'm saying? So like, don't think that shit gonna always be forever. Like, that's kind of what I think the pandemic showed me. I mean, it's kind of like a year recap look at, I guess, was
I mean,
looking
it's
back,
almost
but
been like, it's basically
yeah,
been a fucking year since we started this shit. We haven't gotten to
yeah,
52 episodes, but it basically has been. And I don't know, man. Like, we've all gone through this, and whether or not you felt like you had imminent chance to die, it should show you that shit could happen. Because there's a lot of people that didn't think they were going to die when this shit started. They got corona and they died.
yeah, man.
Just the fact of the matter. And like, I got cancer. I'm luckily enough, I survived that shit, and I'm still here. But I could be fucking dead. That's the thing that I sort of think about when it relates to this. It's like, when I was sick, you try to like think about, what happens if I'm gone, and the real like stark reality is like, it's not like anybody's gonna sing a song, or no, it's not like there's going to be this notoriety that you as an individual are gone, other than maybe your family and friends. And some people like this year didn't even get the opportunity to mourn that.
Yeah, man.
But the world just keeps turning, man. It's like you said. It's like if we die today, if I died right now, this shit, you just keep living and the world keep going. And 20 years later, you'd be like, man, I had this really cool guy I knew passed away. And it's weird to think about life like that. Cause like, like I was talking to my buddy and he was like talking to somebody like an older guy in his family who was saying stuff like that. And he's like, man, I can't even really understand what he's saying. I don't know like what it's like to have all your friends die, like
I mean, dude, like my fucking dad was just there, bro. Like it's like I literally like had spoke to him, you know what I'm saying? And then it's like, damn, like I never ain't gonna be able to say nothing else to him again, you know what I'm saying? Like saw him in the kitchen cooking crabs and shit like he would always do. And now it's like I think even when he had left, like it was in the hospital, some of the food he cooked was still in the fridge, you know what I'm saying? It was just like damn, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like this is like evidence that you were here or whatever, like your stuff's there, but you know that person is just what we know to be this place ain't in this place no more, you know what I'm saying? Like I think that's why people hope so hard for there to be an afterlife, you know what I'm saying? That people like that don't, they ain't just all the way gone, you know what I mean? But
thought. Even if you think personally, like what, because I remember doing this like in the hospital being like, that like you're gone, like what, I wonder what is going to be like. And the most terrifying thing is to think like, I'm here sitting with you experiencing this. Even when I like close my eyes and I'm waiting to go to sleep, I'm thinking about stuff. And like that time, even like every night when you go to sleep and it's just like you're off, like imagine, like it's hard, you can't even really fathom that never, not existing. And that's the most scary thing to me. The scary thing was that, but more so like thinking about my wife or my family, like being sad I was gone.
Right.
And then you just keep going like different levels of that, like, oh, I'm not gone, like there, and just, it's such a wild thing. And I don't even know that people got that kind of perspective unless it's somebody like you who lost somebody throughout this. And to have that sort of perspective on life, I mean, it's freeing, but it's terrifying in the same way. Cause I still deal with that. It's cause like, you don't want to think about it. It's morbid to think about, but ultimately like when I was thinking about those things, I kind of was feeling calm about it because, it is terrifying now for me to think about it, but if it is nothing, that ain't bad because you don't know it. But I never got the sense when I was really thinking I was in danger of dying that was it. I don't know what to explain to you about it, but like to me, when I was alone or I was like right in the pipe of it all, like at the most dangerous points, there was just like this, when I would close my eyes, there was just like this feeling, and I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just me hoping and being a positive person, but not being scared of that at all. Like the frightening thing for me was making my loved ones have to deal with the aftermath of it. It had nothing to do with me. So I think I don't believe in God. I don't know what it is. This went super deep at the end of this podcast, but to me, I just think that in terms of like my thought process, I don't know if there is a true God, but I do think there's some sort of energy that we all have and like that's in this world, and that whenever somebody does leave us, that doesn't disappear, like I think there is some sort of maybe.
Well, what you're talking about is even spoken in science then, because they say energy can't never be created or destroyed. It's just changes from one form to the next, you know what I'm saying? So if you think of your body, yourself, potential energy, eating food and whatever your life was, and if karma is a thing and that has some sort of value, some energy value as well, because I think that's a real thing too, just state of mind going into something, you know what I'm saying? Like I can easily point to the like athletics, but like even if you were to look at like school and like education, like if you go into something being like, oh, I'm going to become a doctor, and then like you're in a hard class and it's like, man, I can't learn this shit, you're not going to be a doctor because you're not keeping the right state of mind to learn, you know what I'm saying? You have to think I can learn it, you know what I'm saying, in order
Yeah.
to learn something. So even that, I think kind of attributes a little bit to like a karmic value. And then, like you said, like your body, the weight, the mass, all of that, like gets turned into something else. Like you said, man, like what you're describing, you would say you don't think you believe in God. Like I would say that is God, that transference or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, because I think all religions, no matter what, big or small, are trying to talk about that thing. You know what I'm saying? Like that they, like you said, like the people on their deathbed experience peace some type of way where it's like you said, they're not even concerned about their own
Can't
well-being
even
so
really
much as
put it in. It's not like I hear a voice or anything like that,
Right.
or anything like that. It's just like you'd think you'd be terrified.
right.
You know what I mean? Like this is it. I could. It's all over. To me, that's a terrifying moment. But when I was in the moment, it just wasn't that. It was just
Right.
like being regretful that I was being like a burden on people. If I died, like the things that they would have to go through as a result of that wasn't, so to me, that's some indication of that. And also, I know that maybe I don't know that you felt this, but I know I have, where I don't know that I've ever experienced like ghosts or anything like that, but in certain situations in my life, and I sometimes on mushrooms, I will say that I felt like these presences. One is like my uncle Jimmy was just like this dude I really admired, and sometimes when I'm like questioning things or in like a really intense situation, I sort of just ask myself like what he would do, because he's sort of like somebody I idolize. He's just like a cool ass dude.
Yeah.
And I've almost felt him like give me advice in moments where I needed it that ended up paying off. And it's like, you could chalk that up to just you motivating yourself, and that's like a tactic to do it. But sometimes it doesn't feel like it's coming from me,
Bro, you trying to make me go in on some shit, bro. But like legitimately, I kind of feel the same way with my dad. But even, like anybody, like I almost feel like that's a real thing, like that's at your beck and call, dude. Like I think that like we only have scratched the surface of the capability of our minds. And like if you want to jump into a conspiracy, I think that's why a lot of technology does exist, like your phones and TV and shit, is to distract you from like the quiet voices that you hear inside yourself. Because like if you were to really turn all that stuff off and like sit in silence, it's really not quiet in your head. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And it's almost kind of terrifying because it's so much things going on that the average person can't even sit alone quietly. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like a terror to them. Like take someone's phone, put them in a room by themselves and be like, yo, just sit there. You know what I'm saying? Just don't do nothing. You know what I mean? But like even what you're discussing, like that realm where like the advice comes or whatever, like I experienced it so much when I used to write a lot of the times. Like it's like I could like hear things, like the words coming from somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I should say next. You know what I'm saying? And then like being able to go back and edit that in a state of mind too, and be like, well, what if I said that here instead of this? You know what I'm saying? And like that's kind of why I've always been a strong writer. But like it's almost like it didn't really come from me. Like my regular just like joking around mind that I'm in, like it's like another state of mind I could go in almost, that like lets me then become the creative step. You know what I'm saying? And like I kind of think that's all attached to that same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like we're more capable of doing things. I think you can receive messages from I don't know where. You know what I'm saying? Like I think it's just like you said, I think it's your own self in a better state of mind, like almost like the future self, if that makes any sense, or like if you want to call it your higher self or whatever. But it's almost like you wanting what's best for yourself is going to then put your mind in the state of being able to, be all about your well-being. You know what I'm saying? Like ask the questions that you weren't asking before. You know what I mean? But like that's why, like I said, I think there's a lot of things in our lives that are built-in distractions to keep you from even knowing the existence of this. You know what I'm saying? Like to say you're saying that you experienced it on like mushrooms and stuff is because you were in like the setting to like be quiet and let those voices come on. But I've experienced that same thing not on any drugs. You know what I'm saying? Where like I've meditated and been like, oh damn, like shit just coming through clear. You know what I'm saying? But it's like from above, like it's like something I can even really.
I mean, a lot of writers talk about that just in terms of creativity, is that whenever you the most creative people, they say it doesn't feel like the same thing. Like it's not them really writing it. They're just
Right.
like a channel to get it out.
Right.
And like if you really want to go full mushroom logic, my thought about that was that the most creative if you think of creativity as like picture a superhero movie where there's just like this machine that's shooting a beam of light into the air, just like a giant thing of energy. And that energy is creativity. Well, there's people that can actually channel into that more so. And those are the people who are great writers, like the Stephen King. People are always like, how do they keep writing all this shit?
Right.
Like, and it's always good, you know, that kind of thing. And the actual superpower is to be able to, whatever the channel is in your mind, to open up to that energy of creativity. There's some people that are good at that and can channel that. And those are the people that are really prolific writers or creative people. And then the other people who are just trying, the real skill isn't doing the thing. It's opening your, you know, you have talent in whatever it is, writing,
Right.
directing, but the real skill is opening yourself up to that creative energy and channeling that into whatever it is. And so I agree with you. I don't know. We went.
Well, what you're saying about that though, just before we go off, is I would tell you that that's like a muscle. Like I think that maybe it's something you can exercise and like get better at it. Like you were saying, like Stephen King and shit. I think he just has like gotten to that point so many times that he just can always do it. You know what I'm saying? And like we were talking about, what if we had superpowers? I mean, shit, we were talking about trying to become low rate criminals. We need to just expand this creativity muscle, dog, and fucking get it the right way. That's the
real move. I mean,
exactly.
I'd love to do that, but interesting fucking talk. We went hella deep here. Instead of being Dollar Tree, Falcon, and Winter Soldier, we're like Dollar Tree.
You always got to
gurus.
get a little sauce. You know, you got to get a little sauce on it, man.
But I'm proud of us, dude. See, 2.0, episode 47, 2.0. We got it back on track.
We intro the show.
We got it back on track.
Yeah, I'm proud of that one. We can put that one out.
We got the train. It derailed. It fucking crashed. It went into flames. We rebuilt it, put it back on, and we got this gem of an episode. So good talking to you. I'm fucking, now my mind's blown. Now I'm gonna have to like turn my computer off and meditate.
I was about to say, I'm about to do the same thing, man. Shit, about to just work out in silence here. Just, you know, get swole while I get my mind right, dog.
Do it. But yeah, so thanks for listening, guys. Hopefully you learned something other than, you know, if we had superpowers, we'd be supervillains, basically. So that's what we learned today.
I used to write raps in high school, and I think I had a rap one time that said something like, "They lucky that I chose to be a superhero instead of the villain." You know what I'm saying? And because like that's the truth.
World, you lucky
motherfucker. That's the truth, man. If I was the bad guy, man, I'd be in there plotting. Batman wouldn't even be around, bro. I'd be doing Batman so dirty. He's like, damn, you just shot him. Like, yeah, man, I ain't got time for all this play.
So now we're just now we're Dollar Tree, Riddler, and Joker. So I mean...
exactly. And I'm $2 Riddler, man. Fuck that shit, man. I'm the questioner.
Well, talking to you, bud.
All right, bro.
I'll talk to you later. Thanks for listening, y'all. Peace.